Hey there! Welcome to another artist chat with Music for Your Inbox. I'm Jennifer Bewersi, and today we're going to be chatting with visual artist and weaver Amabelle Aguiluz, who made the mail art for this month, her fiber sculpture Cycles 2. So let me get Amabelle invited. Welcome.
Hi.
Thanks so much for chatting with us, and we're really thrilled to get to present your art on our series this month. So I have a couple questions for you, and I
Sure.
figure we'll just kind of get to know you and your practice a
Okay.
little bit. So to start, I'd love to hear about how you got into fiber arts and how you got to your current kind of method of weaving, which is unconventional. Because I know you got a BFA in at the Fashion Institute of Technology with a specialization in knitwear, and I'm just so curious, like, how do you get from like high school to like knitwear to weaving the way you do now?
So yeah, I started my practice, you know, uh, in more of the fashion realm, but after college, I kind of went into an installation and kind of more, contemporary uh, vision. And so now, and the way that I've kind of got into the work now is I had an injury that happened to me, and it really got me curious about my body, and really made me think about, what are different ways, what are some adaptive methods I could do to continue my practice. And so that's sort of how the project started. And I really experimented and really thought about it and really uh, made it part of my daily practice.
Yeah, and can you kind of describe, we have a really amazing kind of reel on our Instagram feed, which you can check out to see exactly what this process looks like. But can you describe it for anyone who hasn't seen that or doesn't know?
Sure. So uh, the process is so I work on a knitting machine, which sort of looks like a keyboard, and there's needles that come out, and I created a belt uh, where I'm actually attached to the knitting machine, and I basically do a lot of the different postures that I've learned through Tai Chi and different trainings to really just kind of get my body in flow and really find a center point and be present. So that's really what I've been working on for the past few years.
Yeah, so you kind of like pull the knitting carriage back and forth, where normally people would just like, would they just kind of do it like this with their
Yes,
hands?
yes,
And you're kind of like doing it with the cycles of your body. So you're like, if does this sound right to you? You're kind of like translating this like healing body thing into your fiber, the like knit that comes out of your fiber art.
yes,
That's really
definitely. Yeah,
that's really
there's
cool.
definitely uh, the way that I'm working is really intuitive, and I'm just kind of in a present space.
Yeah, and you mentioned you were weaving and doing installation work, and you got this injury and found a way to like adapt weaving to work with your new practice and incorporate your healing. Why, what made you feel the need to like continue weaving versus, I feel like some people have been like, oh, I can't do that anymore, I'll find something new, and you're like, no, this is like, what made you want to stick with it afterwards?
I think I've always been really interested in fiber and sort of the language of fiber, and it's just something that I've always been really connected to. And I knew that there had to be a way to still have a voice, but maybe it meant saying it in a different way, or working in a different way.
Yeah, well, I also want to talk, so you have this really amazing practice, you make these all these kinds of fiber sculptures, and the piece we get to feature this month is called Cycles 2, and I'm going to show you the how it turned out. So if, in case you're wondering how you present sculpture as a piece of mail art, this is where we landed. And can you kind of describe Cycles 2 for us, like what it looks like and why you made it?
Yeah. So Cycles 2 is a series of 6 rings with intertwined uh, pieces of of knitted fibers that I used. I actually used that knitting meditation to make all the pieces, and they each represent the cycles we go through in life and just how we, you know, transform and change, and we go through all these different emotions and different things that are always happening constantly, and we're shifting and we're changing. And so really I just wanted to have something that you could connect to and really find like a present space.
Yeah, and you, I think really notably, um, it's it's these six rings like you described, but you're the viewpoint you were really interested in for this mail art was like peering through it. What would drew you to that kind of idea of like looking through the rings?
Well, I think I really like the idea of the layering, that there's just so many different ways that you can see this piece, and
Mhm.
that, you know, every time you look at it, you may find something different.
Yeah, yeah. And I know like something I love about the postcard is it really does feel like it's like drawing you through it, which
Mhm.
is so special for our kind of the the idea we're dealing with this month a lot is this idea of like filtering. And I love how your piece kind of draws us into it and filters itself. So you feel like you're kind of peering that feeling of peering through is really,
Right.
really beautiful.
Like a
Um,
like a portal, like you're really going in through another space.
yeah. And actually, so along that line, we have this like one vantage point of cycles too, but your pieces are usually sculptures that people can like move around. How did it feel for you as an artist to kind of it like do a little leap over into like this more fixed view of your work? Does that like change how you see it, or what was that like for you?
Well, I actually think it gives you a different viewpoint. You know, we're really focusing on a specific, you know, lens of of this piece, and I think it's just another way of seeing it.
Yeah, yeah, it's really, really cool. And like what I'm very excited about also is that you like if people do want to see your stuff, you also have a solo show up right now. So like locally, if you live near Long Beach, you know, you can see this very cool version of mail art, but I think it's really also striking to see your work in three dimensions. So can you tell us about this like solo show you have going on and
Yeah.
what's up and
Oh
where
yeah.
it is?
So the show is called Balai, and that's an Ibanag word for home and or
Mm.
house. And the show is actually up. It's open now, and it's actually up until October 8th. And this coming Saturday, there's going to be the artist reception, and at 2:30, I'll be doing a knitting performance, not performance, a knitting demonstration, and and then there's going to be a reception afterwards. And then on October 1st, as part of the artist curated events of San Pedro, I'm going to be doing a sound performance from 1 to 2 p.m.
Yeah, and you incorporated when so can you tell us about how like sound is coming into your practice? Because I know having talked to you, like something you're really interested in is like this idea of flow and cycles because these movements on the knitting machine are like these cyclical cycled moments and you translate them into these kind of ring structures. So how has that played out in music for you or sound?
Well, I think I mean I think all these mediums are really connected. They're all interconnected, and so I just found that there was a component of the sound of the healing vibrations that really connected to the flow and the movement of what I was doing. So that's really how I've been connecting it.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and I'm really hopeful that people go and see it in person because it's really having seen Cycles 2 in person. You like so graciously let us like install it in my studio. I'll post a cute like post photo of that after in our stories. So graciously let us install it and photograph it for the mail art. And having seen your sculptures in person, I just can't say enough. Like people go out and see it, and then also get the mail art so you can have like something at home to really like see how these pieces draw you in and create these cool perspectives. So unless you have anything else any questions or things you want to share, we just really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you so much. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. You've been
Awesome.
great. This whole process, you've been great.
Thanks for trying. Okay, well, I'll see
Okay,
you around. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Bye.